Okay, celebrated astronomer Neil deGrasse Tyson, during a recent interview on the Joe Rogan podcast, was talking about UFOs again, like they usually do when they're together. These two guys, and like they usually do, Tyson likes to downplay the whole thing and pretty much acts like there's rational explanations for UFOs. Well, actually, rational explanation for UFOs is they're extraterrestrials. That's the rational explanation. That's the only explanation that makes sense. And when you consider the alien abduction cases, cattle mutilations, sightings, landings, close encounters of the first kind, third kind, fourth kind, second kind, all kinds. Okay, that's the rational explanation. But anyway, Neil deGrasse Tyson made a statement at one point talking about alien abductions, which was incredible. I was shocked that he would make this statement, but he said that um, alien abductions have been going on since the 1960s. And nowadays all these all of us have cell phones, and we could film this stuff if we were pull out our cell phones while we're in the middle of getting abducted and film it. How come there's no evidence? How come nobody's done this yet? That's ridiculous. Like, I mean, if we got to assume that extraterrestrials are hundreds, if not thousands, if not a million, if not millions of years more advanced than we are. Okay, I would say at least in the thousands of years more advanced, at least. But I wouldn't be surprised if they were a million years or more more advanced than we are. But he's wondering, if people were really getting abducted, since the 1960s, at this point, somebody should have been able to film these things. That's a ridiculous statement, especially coming from a scientist. I can't believe he made that statement. I mean, okay, that's just like, okay, back in the 60s when these things started getting reported, like say Betty and Barney Hill happened to have an 8 millimeter film camera in the back seat when they got abducted. You think they're, hey, Mr. Alien, would you mind if we bring this in here so we could film what you're about to do to us, so we could prove to our buddies? You see what I'm saying here? It's not going to work out. Obviously, the aliens don't want people to know about this abduction business. I mean, they basically, people are, a lot of people lose time. They don't even know they've been abducted. They don't even know what happened. They see a UFO, or they're out walking down some. I remember reading one report where there was a guy out hunting somewhere, and all of a sudden he sees some a strange craft, and then some weird humanoid beings. Next thing you know, it's like 3-4 hours later, and he's walking around in a daze. He doesn't even know what happened. And then later on, he gets hypnotized and he finds out what happened. These aliens, they don't want you to know what's going on. And if they're thousands, if not a million years more advanced than us, right? They're gonna know that your cell phone's able to film and film video and record audio. They're gonna know that you have that. I'm sure that they have some sort of system in place that makes that kind of thing impossible. I mean, the extraterrestrials, pretty, for the most part, they've been keeping their distance for a long time. We usually get pictures of these things flying around the sky, but we usually don't get that close to them. I mean, they pretty much, I'm sure, have things figured out. They're way more advanced than we are, so they would know what we're up to and what we're capable of doing, even more so than we do, than we would know. So they're not going to allow, you don't mind, some guy gets abducted, tomorrow night, and and he has a, you don't mind if I bring my cell phone with me, Mr. Extraterrestrial, because no one back home is going to believe this. I like to film what you're about to do to me while we're in your spacecraft. Would you mind? I'm sure that that extraterrestrial is going to communicate telepathically to this gentleman and tell him, sorry, no. In fact, we're going to make you forget this whole thing, by the way. So I don't know. It's amazing that someone of the stature of Neil deGrasse Tyson could make such an ridiculous statement. That's just beyond unscientific for him. Now, I love the guy. I think he's highly entertaining. He makes astronomy fun. He makes science fun. I mean, he's very personable. He has a great personality. I think he's a great person. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes to UFOs, wow, he's just he's missing the trip here, man. I just can't believe that he could make such a statement like this. This is it's stunning. It's a stunning and usually when he's on Joe Rogan's show, Rogan will or anyone there's talking when Rogan has guests on her talking about UFOs and extraterrestrials and things like that, and a statement like that is made. Usually, Rogan will, he'll say something like he'll recognize, hey, wait a minute, there's something wrong with your statement. And he didn't recognize this one. Basically to show the conversation just went on, and there was nothing else stated about this. And then, Tyson goes on to talk, basically, downplay, the possibility of extraterrestrials piloting these. Spacecraft that we've seen, for 70 plus years that we've been, people have been talking about. Anyway, I'm going to leave a link to this video. There's a video that that was put on YouTube where they're talking about this, and you can see the interview that Rogan has with Neil deGrasse Tyson yourself, and you could see the part where Tyson makes this extraordinary this I don't know what you want to call this statement that we would have someone, somebody would have filmed this by now. I mean, we've had cell phones for quite a long time. I mean, somebody needs to film one of these things. Well, I don't think it's that easy, Neil. It's not that easy, man. There's just no way it's that easy. They don't want us to film them. I mean, basically, they're all these people that are talking. There's very rare do people actually consciously remember. Sometimes they do. Sometimes there are people who consciously remember these things. Travis Walton, right? When he's abducted, there was some things he remembered. There was a lot of things he didn't, and a lot of things came out under hypnosis. The Allagash Four, those guys, they saw a UFO, and the next thing you know, they're standing on the beach, in the middle of the woods, and the thing went away, and that's it. They didn't remember anything. It took years till they realized what happened. Basically, these aliens have it all figured out, and they've had it figured out for a long time. And statements like what you're making, I mean, that's just not really scientific, really. It's if something's way more advanced than we are, right? They're gonna know. They're gonna know. They're not gonna let us film it. They're not gonna let us pull out our cell phone. Hey, you don't mind if I take a couple of selfies here? Me and the insectoid in the corner, do you? They're not going to let us do that. They don't let us do that. In fact, they don't even let people remember anything about it most of the time. They have to go to hope to get hypnotized to figure it out. Okay. Anyway, you'll find a link below.